achievements of being honored here tonight by your induction into this prestigious organization. And honor such as this is a wonderful way for the school and the community to recognize and celebrate the choices and sometimes the sacrifices that you have made. But I believe that what you guys should really be proud of is not that you've been inducted into this organization or you're about to be inducted, but the sacrifice that you had to go through in order to be here today. In keeping with the spirit of tonight's theme for this program, Community Meets Character, tonight I want to speak to you about 4 life principles that are the core of a fulfilling life, and some of the principles that you're going to need in life, not only in Distinguished Gentlemen, but throughout high school and your college career. The first is scholarship. And when you talk about scholarship, most people think that scholarship is something that is just all about making good grades. But scholarship, in its true meaning, is a love for learning. It's a love that you have for learning. And there's a lifelong love of learning. In the end, it's a sum of small choices that you make. Each time you decide that you want to learn something, the experience will be so rewarding that the next time it becomes a lot easier. And one of the things about scholarship that I've always enjoyed is I've never been afraid to ask questions. And if I was watching something on TV and I came across a word, or if I was sitting in an induction ceremony like you guys are, and a word came across that I didn't know, I didn't have a problem with going to a dictionary, looking that word up. Even today, if I hear about an organization or something that I don't know about, I'll Google it just to find out what it's all about. And so that's a love for learning that I have. And in loving that, in loving learning, that's where you guys are going to become scholars, and that's where the scholarship really takes place at. So, you know, just loving learning, you'll find that you'll become scholars. It'll really help you in your schoolwork just to love and enjoy coming up and learning new things. The next principle is leadership. And when you talk about leadership, most people think that, and a lot of students think that being a leader just means that you were elected or appointed to an office. The office, the title, or the membership does not teach you how to be a leader. Leadership is an attitude cultivated over time. I want to ask you guys some rhetorical questions. And basically, are you guys some individuals that stand up for what you believe in and face the music, even when the music happens to be unpleasant? Do you have a purpose and follow that purpose to get to the ends desired? Do you have a vision? These are all questions that true leaders must answer yes to. So being a leader is not just that you were inducted into the Distinguished Gentlemen today. It's what are you going to do after you're inducted? What are you going to do as members of the Distinguished Gentlemen to make this school and make this community a better place? One of the things about being a leader is you have to have a vision. I can remember when I was in school, you know, we were having a senior class meeting, and the idea came up that we wanted to go to Cancun as a class trip. And as leaders, the class officers, you know, tried to convince our sponsor to let us go to Cancun. They dealt with the school board. The school board said no. But when we met with our principal, Dr. Mitchell, he said, if you guys want it to happen, you guys need to make it happen. And a week after we graduated, a lot of us got on the boat and we went to Cancun as a senior trip. This is something that as leaders, we work to do. So we didn't just rest on the laurels of we're senior class president or we hold these titles in these offices. It's about believing in something and working hard and making sure that you do the right thing to make those things happen. The next thing is community service. And you know, a lot of students look at community service as a negative thing, that, you know, it's just something that you need to graduate, extra credit for your schoolwork. But Martin Luther King once said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? What are you doing as an organization? What are you doing as an individual to help others? And community service is one of those things that you must, it's good for the soul, and as an organization, it's something that you guys have committed yourself to doing. So that's something that you definitely should be striving to fulfill. And I know that as community service, you would, in the early Saturday morning sometimes, the least thing you would want to do is wake up and paint, or do a yard cleanup, or, you know, pick up trash, or, you know, tutor young people. But as you have dedicated yourselves to being distinguished gentlemen, those are some of the things that, as principle in life, you have to commit yourself to even sometimes when you don't want to do it, doing community service and making community service a strong part of your organization. And finally, I want to talk about character. If there is one thing that is evidenced by your daily choices, it is your character. I truly believe that the treasure of a man's real character is what he would do if he knew he would never be found out. So in those times where you think your teacher and your advisors and your principals and your parents are not paying attention, what are the things that you're doing? That is a testament to your character. If you're in the classroom and you're taking a test and the teacher walks out, you don't know the answers, do you pick up your folder in your book bag and look at the answers? Whatever you're answering to that, if you would do that or you wouldn't do that, that's a testament to what your character is. So in anything that you do with scholarship, your leadership, your community service, you have to make sure that your character is up to par and that as distinguished gentlemen, you can be trusted. The most important thing to remember is that each of these life principles, scholarship, leadership, community service, and character, is the sum of many individual decisions. They embody a positive attitude backed by purpose. The only way to achieve your purpose is to take small actions every day. In the end, they will all add up. And my hope for you all is that you will cultivate this attitude backed by purpose in your life. It's an honor for you guys to be inducted today. But don't just rest on, okay, I'm inducted, now I'm a distinguished gentleman, now the work is all over. This is where the real work begins. This is where your community service, this is where being a distinguished gentleman really starts. And so I want to leave you guys with that in mind. When you talk about the leadership and the scholarship, what are some of the visions that you have for your organization? What would you like to see happen here at Raines High School, even with distinguished gentlemen, in your lives? If you want to go to college, if you want to go into the military, or you want to go into the workforce, what are some of the things that you have for your life? And that's what being a leader, being a distinguished gentleman is all about, having vision. I want to close with the story. Coretta Scott King wrote a book entitled My Life with Martin Luther King Jr. And in that book, she talked about how when Dr. King was assassinated, she started getting phone calls from all over the country. People were telling her, you know, I apologize for your loss, you have my condolences. And everybody ended the phone call by saying, if there's anything I can do, let me know. And she got a call from Robert Kennedy. And Robert Kennedy said the same thing, but in the end of his call, it was a little different. And he said, I've been trying to call your house all day, and the phone line has been busy. So what I've done, I've contacted the Georgia Power Company, and they're going to be to your house tomorrow morning, and they're going to install 2 new phone lines. This is going to help you with the funeral preparations for Dr. King. He said another thing that I noticed is you're going to need to fly to Memphis to escort your husband's body back to Atlanta. So I'm going to send you my private jet, and it's going to be at your disposal all week for you and all your guests that are going to come for the funeral. He said, and I know you don't have experience with planning a large event such as a funeral for Martin Luther King, so I'm going to send you my personal secretary. He's going to be at your side all week. And these are some of the, this is what I'm going to do for you, and if you need anything else, please call. And so her story talks about how everybody else was calling saying, if there's anything that you need me to do, let me know. And Robert Kennedy was one of those people that said, this is what I'm going to do, and he did it. And so I want to leave you with, what kind of person are you? Are you going to be a kind of person that says, let me know what needs to be done? Are you going to go to your sponsor and say, let me know when the next meeting is, let me know when our next community service project is? Or are you going to go to your sponsor and say, this is what I've researched, this is what I think we should be doing, this is the time that the Clara White mission is going to be open, can we go here? I've already got the lady's number. Are you going to be the type of person that says, this is what I'm going to be doing? And so I congratulate you gentlemen this afternoon. It is a pleasure to be able to speak with you. And I want to leave you with the words of Dr. Andrew A. Robinson, as he historically said to all of the Vikings of William and Raines High School, that Raines Vikings are Ichiban, #1, never to accept being #2. Thank you guys.